So hopefully now we're at the end of our week. And I start to realise that really the mind, the things we're doing with our mind is causing all our problems and not things outside of ourselves. So immediately there's this incredible sense of empowerment, you know. You're cooking up your own storm. All these desires and aversions and clingings and dramas and he said, she said, they said, what do I do, where do I go, what's my purpose, what's that? You're stomping around. This war you're waging with life, this lie that you fill yourself with that you want peace when you go around waging war. Everyone's mind is very, very tricky. Very, very tricky mind. Always looking to profit, always looking to avoid loss. Always seeking to play games. Or to create a sense of identity, to create a sense that something's here. Because there's no knowledge of emptiness, there's no knowledge of awareness. No insight into the nature, true nature of being. And so it fills us with terror, that emptiness. A really subconscious level. And so we're constantly trying to manufacture drama and a sense of identity. Sense of ego. Mind either wants to lift you up so that you're better than everyone else. You know, everyone else is like this, like that, but not me. I'm the good one. I'm the kind one. I'm the noble one. You know, and that's just if your ego's pretty well adjusted. If your ego's not well adjusted, you know. Then it's, I'm better than you, I deserve more than you, screw you. I'm going to take what you've got. I'm going to hurt you because I can, it makes me feel better. It's get nasty, can't it? Can't it? Well, then it goes, there's something wrong with you. You're a horrible person. You're worthless. You're full of fault. You're weak. You don't deserve anything. And two sides to this thing, you know? You don't deserve anything, you deserve all of it. It can never get into balance, can it? Have you not noticed that? Whoa, whoa. You're either here or here, aren't you? You know? Won't let you achieve balance because balance is stillness. To be, I'm okay. What kind of drama can we manufacture out of I'm okay, everything's okay? You know? Not a lot. It's trying to create activity, to create a sense of the illusory self, because there's nothing there in that stillness, like when we go into these meditative states, or we talk ourselves into this wisdom tantra, and we become still and everything disappears. This is why your mind is busy creating all of this activity, so that it can sustain the ego state. A lot of energy it requires to do that. Incredible amount of energy. Oh, and then it makes the fear come up, the fear of the unknown. Oh, not our primary state. We don't want to go there. We want to stay here. You know, we've been having a lovely time here, haven't we? We've been having a lovely time hating ourselves or lifting ourselves up and lording it above everyone. Having a lovely time with that. And when we sit in the silence and the emptiness, sometimes we go so deep into the emptiness and a fear comes up, doesn't it? Or hear these teachings and there's this emptiness, awareness, letting go of everything I am, as if you're letting go of this wonderful, precious, beautiful creature. You're letting go of delusion, you're letting go of hatred, you're letting go of spite, you're letting go of arrogance, you're letting go of self-hatred. There's nothing for you there. How long? You want to go around the merry-go-round, with the up and the down, the left and the right. I hate myself, I love myself. I'm the best person in the world, I'm the worst person in the world. I'm an arsehole, everyone's an arsehole. Yeah. All activity, activity, activity. Playing silly games with you. I might try and play spiritual games with you as well, they're fun games. I know the truth now. Wise one I am. Oh, how wise you are. You know, the thief becomes the policeman. You know. Oh, now you've got it. It's yours now. Oh, you must be a special being. You know. This is what it does. It's always trying to find an in to create a sense of self. Remember, your nature's empty and it's void of anything. And that place is not a nothingness, it's not a dead zone, it's pure potentiality, pure freedom, pureness. Stop playing games. Be aware of it, what it does. If you sit with this stuff for a while, it gets very, very clever. Because you start having all sorts of experiences. It wants to pull your mind, wants to pull you out of stillness. Creates all sorts of things. I've had all my mind, if you sit with it for long enough in the stillness, it gets very, very desperate. Very, very desperate. And then the mind goes into sometimes in the deepest states, before you go into a deep samadhi, your mind will say, stop. This is awful, this is evil, you can't go in here, you don't let go, don't let go. It'll get desperate. Try and create some kind of instability in the mind, and because you've realised your emptiness, it's not taking hold anymore. You know? It's trying to grasp and it won't take hold and it panics. You know? Collapses. As long as you sit like this. You'll hear this wisdom and feel this peace, and then your ego will come in and go, oh, a sad thing, you don't exist. Oh, such a sad thing. Oh, I don't know if I've done it right, I don't know if I understood it right, I want to grasp hold of this state. How do I keep it? How do I keep it? Mind. How do I hold on to what I found here? I found it here, how do I cling? Creating sense of identity, structure, concepts of past, present and future, gaining and attaining. Do you see? All fabrications. The power is in the seeing. Once you see what the mind's doing, and that everything that is arising in the realm of thought is not to be taken to be true. once you see that the mind is fiddling around to establish some kind of stability, no matter how dysfunctional and barbaric and depressing that might be. Once you see that, and it's checkmate. And when you understand the idea of checkmate is also an idea of fabrication arising in the mind, oh, that's checkmate. The idea that could be some kind of victory. It's also a fabrication that you're overlaying onto existence. That's checkmate. See the mind is doing this, twirling, establishing. When you see what it's doing, that's your moment of viewing the matrix and looking and seeing and being, I see, I know. And then you can let go of fear, and you can let go of confusion. You can let go of trying to understand. You can let go of the fear of falling, the fear of surrender, the fear of the unknown. All these things that you're afraid of, they're empty. Try and grasp hold of them, try and hold it, try and find it. Stop running from it and face it, you know? When I was in hell for 10 years and plagued by my own demons, you know, I'd be crawling and scratching at my skin sometimes because I was so frustrated and so tormented by my own mind, running away from my own projections. What a foolish thing to do. Scared of my own mind. And I got tormented for so long that after a while, it's not so painful anymore. It stops being so painful. It can't sustain itself for that long. And then all of a sudden you stop running. They say when a dog's chasing you, the worst thing to do is run, isn't it? Smell your fear. It's the same with your own fears. Don't run, sit and face. Look at it. Say, I want to see you. There's nothing there, is there? Initially, I feel the terror, but then look, you know. Where is that terror coming from? What is it? You'll find it's empty. There's no self within your own mind. There's no self within any of your fears. There's no substance to them. They lack inherent existence. They're only brought into effect by conditions. Everything is empty. And therefore you're free. You always were. Face your thoughts, your fears. Look at them long enough and you'll see they're just awareness. You'll find it's just awareness that you're looking at. Your own projection. Nothing to be afraid of, and there's no one that could be afraid. Can't find the fear and you can't find the frightened one. Next time you feel terror, ask yourself, to whom is the terror arising? Is that one scared? Turn in and you'll just find awareness. And fear arising, apparently. Look at the fear for long enough, close enough. And you'll see that that's just awareness too. stop running. Stop fiddling with it as well. Got to fix it. Fix what? Trying to fix a hallucination. What does that do when you're trying to fix a hallucination? You maintain it. You breathe life into it. What you resist will persist. You're breathing life into it. You are the life giver. You're pure awareness. Everything depends on you for its existence. You know? Not only do you stop being afraid of your inner demons, you realise that they only arise through the grace of your own light. What do you have to be frightened of? Stop fiddling and fixing and meddling. Let it all just come to rest. It's all just a shit show of the mind. You can still do your psychotherapy and your this and your that for a short time to rein yourself in and give yourself a bit of a context for your past and, replace some dysfunctional concepts with a few better concepts if you want. Don't spend an eternity doing inner work. Just don't do it. Know when enough. Because it never ends. And start trying to tie unkarmic knots. Good luck with that one. Only the force of love will set you free. Only the force of love will set you free. If you sit there like a little cell full of delusion, not in one issue and then another one and then another one and then another one, and you get round here and you realise that one's acting up again and this one's acting up again. It's like fucking whack-a-mole, Isn't it? You whack a few moles till you've got a few down, and then know this wisdom about yourself. Transcend. Transcend. Transcend suffering. You rise above it. Not, I'm on this level and I've just sorted everything out, fab. Doesn't happen, does it? Transcendence. The lotus doesn't flower in the mud, does it? Comes up and out, and it's absolutely victorious. Be like the lotus. The issues, they'll just keep popping up and they'll keep coming because the level of consciousness that you are produces them. To change that. Up your wisdom, up your love. Up your wisdom, up your love. Forget about everything else. Commit to loving people. This is the most important thing out of all this. You cannot understand the word of wisdom, but if you understand love, wisdom will fall at you, into you. There's noble intentions that you have before your practice. They're really important. Just stop with all this trying to manifest the life you want like a little demon. Get your hands out the cookie jar. Greedy, 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 greedy. I want. that the case? How long have you been, I want? Don't think about how do I change myself, how do I change my world, what project do I do, how do I help people, how do I start loving others? I mean, where do I begin? Look at the mess that's around me, like what do I do? Like, start with the noble intention. You don't have to do anything. This is the great part of it, you know. You sit, get still, know your emptiness, give up all that self-talk, that self-clinging, and just vow. I vow to become something of value to others. Forget about me life, forget about manifesting my life, forget about my hopes, and I'm not going to pray for myself anymore. I'm not going to say, just not going to do it. I'm going to stop whining. You know? Let me become the sky in which all men and women can grow, in which all beings can grow. Let me be of inexhaustible assistance to all beings in this life, and if there's any other lives going forward, then all of those too. Forget about me and my spiritual pathway. No, me and mine doesn't exist. And yet I'm in this dream, so I commit to these noble intentions. You know, and it sounds so lofty, and it sounds so, this is impossible. But say it anyway, pray for it anyway. What's the point in praying for anything else? You don't pray for things that are doable, do you? You know? Until their every sickness is healed, may I become for them the doctor, the nurse, the medicine itself. For those that wish to cross the water, may I become a raft, a boat, a bridge. Where there is famine, let me be food. Where there is drought, let me be water. Turn me into a mystical spell, a wish-granting tree, granting temporary and ultimate happiness to all that come near me. And may all the merit of this noble intention, I give that away too. And may I take nothing for myself. And let this not fill my head with notions of ideas that I've become a king among men and women. Let me realise that I am their servant. If you want love, that's it. If you want enlightenment, that's it. That's what it will look like. If that's the quest you're going on, and that's the path you're taking, and this is the direction you want to send your life in, that is what it will end up like. If you don't want to, that's still what it's going to end up like. You'll just, might take a few eons to get you to the point where you realise that, but there's no other way. The seed of the lotus always has within it the lotus. It can sit in a drawer for 1,000 years if you want. But when it hits the ground, that's all it's going to become. So why not just now? You know, now. Why not now? Don't worry about how others are treating you, whether you're being treated fairly, whether you're getting what you want, whether you're getting what you need, whether you blah, 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 blah. People often ask me about spiritual protection. How do I protect myself? Do I surround myself with this? Do not bother. Yeah. Do not bother. Not your job. It'll give you what it wants to give you. Let it take what it wants to take. Set your mind on this noble intention. It's really what it comes down to. That is the spiritual path. If you're on it for any other reason, then you're not really on it. I know people screw around for a while and we've all got lost in that idea that, you know, spirituality is about us finding something and us getting something and having the life that we want, you know, and clicking our heels off and running off into the sunset. That's not love, is it? That's not awakening, that's not enlightenment. That's not how it's described, is it, by the masters? You know. And I sat here and I got everything that I want. It was just amazing. If anyone is saying that to you, you question their credentials. You see them sometimes in India. Some of the gurus that I were to go and see, they were just totally in these dark arts. You know, you can have everything you want. You can manifest this. You can have that. And you can have this, and we'll pray for this. And, you know. Be wary of people in robes and things, and people that are teaching this. You know, really watch them. You know, watch how they behave, and and the people around them as well. And watch their fruit. You want to know what a tree's like. You want to see what its fruit's like. You know. You find more stickiness in the spiritual world than you will anywhere else in life. Because, oh yeah, lots of drama and ego, nonsense you can get caught in then, you know? It's all these teachers that like people running around and worshipping them, and you know, one of them, apparently now he doesn't dress himself or bathe himself, others do it, for their own blessing of course. Stay away from all this shit, you know? Anyone that realises this stuff does not want any kind of worship. Anyone that doesn't say to you, the light is in your own mind, go to that. Then they haven't got your interests at heart, you know. The teacher is only just an external pointer to go in. It's just really a manifestation of your own mind. The alarm clock, you know. The teacher's just technical support, you know. To say, go inside, this is how it's done. Have fun, you know. Don't get caught up in silly games or, you know, be very, very, very wary. You know. You should be careful. But your own discernment is really important. It's one of the guiding factors of finding truth is discernment, to be able to look at something and say, this is right and this is wrong. Intelligence, discernment. Radical honesty with yourself as well. You're really radically honest with you. Know when you're playing games. If you're constantly telling yourself good stories about yourself and really you're going out in the world and being a troublemaker, you're not going to get anywhere with this. You need radical honesty with yourself, you need discernment. You need the clarity to keep stewing on these things, remembering noble intention, remembering emptiness, constantly reflecting, looking at your mind. Forget 20 minutes of meditation twice a day. You can do that, great, but I guarantee you'll have times when you do it and times when you don't, and it'll become another thing that you've got to do, and then sometimes you do it and it makes you feel good, and then you don't do it and it makes you feel bad. It's all about a practice that, you know, makes you feel something and get something. You'll get locked into that. Sit and meditate, great. If you don't sit and meditate, great. Through your day, start looking where your intentions are coming from, where your actions are arising from. Are they arising from delusion or are they arising from clarity? You know, you want to get free. This is how it's done. Of course, you're already free, but this is how the obscurations that cloud over that freedom are dissipated. This is how the clouds collapse. Whatever you're confused about, this teaching is confusing sometimes. Just turn your mind in and sit with that experience of yourself, that awareness, that ungraspable, that unfindable, that is what is the gateway, the portal to all of this. All of the teachings are just, any which way to convince you to turn in. That's all this week is, this talking is just to get you to the point where you turn in. People say, we don't meditate a lot here, because I want you to go home and do it all the time in your head, I don't want you doing 5 minutes a day, that's useless. If you don't do it within the context of this, within a broader inquiry, really into the nature of your reality, the ceaseless inquiry, this is what yields awakening, this ceaseless inquiry. So have your 5 minutes on your mat in the morning, have your 10 minutes, your 20 minutes. If you've got 3 hours, sit for 3 hours, if you feel inclined to do so. But really the internal looking is the most important thing, all the time. Turning the mind inwards and just staying with awareness. All the dramas about I don't know what I'm doing, I'm confused. This is who I am, this fear. They're all just arising in it, aren't they? Allow yourself to dissolve. Noticing the mind, just simply aware. to meditate, just rest. Why do you have to worry about thought coming and going? Does the sky worry about clouds coming and going? Let it come, let it go. Trying to contrive pleasant feelings and escape discomfort. The idea of good meditations and bad meditations is delusional. Your ideas of meditation is delusional. The idea that there's a meditator in there meditating, delusional. All fabrications. Everything that is happening is okay. Just let it. Just surrender to all of it. Anybody have any questions about any of that?
When you bear witness to your own mind and your own thoughts is without judgment, but in bearing witness, you're examining that process, and therefore are you not passing judgment, asking yourself, is this who I am, where I want to be, these are the thoughts I want to be having, what's driving these thoughts? That self-inquiry, is that what you mean by turning your mind in?
There's aspects of it. So when you're 99% of the time, you're sitting with absolute non-judgment and dispassion. Well, 100% of the time. but you're also, this is paradox, you see, you have to be able to grasp paradox, you have to see grey. If you try and grasp hold of truth, you can't. So there's this absolute non-judgment, this absolute dispassion and allowance. And then on the other hand, there's this radical honesty with which we also commit some other kind of inquiry, where we look at the intentions and we see where things are coming from. We're not judging ourselves for those being there. We're still viewing them with dispassion, you understand? So you're kind of still doing this. You're still holding that sense of dispassion and that sense of non-judgment, but you are looking to see at sometimes, the content of that and where it might be coming from and the intention behind it, just to see yourself. Like I said, 90% of the time sit with just this, as though you're not even the least bit interested in what's arising. This is the main thing. But there are very many habitual patterns that you're doing, that are running through you. It's often 10% of the time it's a little bit useful to sit and watch, maybe you behave a particular way, with someone, or it's useful to know why and where, but without then flagellating ourselves for, not being perfect. This is another hiding to nothing, Some people see this teaching and they're like, oh, it's so perfect, and, this exalted state of being, and then they run, they have this noble intention, in the morning, and then they get to work, and or they, something goes wrong, and they fire into a habitual pattern, and then, oh no, I'm so awful, and I can't do the noble desire, and I'll never. It's more bullshit. Do you understand? You have to just see it and go, being a knob there, being a bit of a wanker today, You have to get very dispassionate about it. Sometimes I'll be driving and I'm in a real deep kind of state, It happened today, and I'm driving along and I'm like, oh, the music's happening and the trees and, everything's just happening and it's fine. And then the fucking bus in front of me stops, right, before the bus stop, and there's an island in the thing there, and I'm like, you just hit the bus stop, and I could get round you, so I'm like, for fuck's sake, and then I'm like, I'm stepping out of that to get wound up about the bus, you see? Now I could be like, oh, I was in some majestic state and I've now ruined it with my judgments about bus driver and where's this impatience coming from? And there's no. Just, haha.
Don't short chat, not that window.
Yeah, well, not, but sometimes that happens too, Often not, but, sometimes we really lose control of ourselves, don't we? But if you're starting to feel really bad about yourself and not living up to your own noble intentions, this is an ego game, This is an ego game. So then you just see it just happens, but you see it clearly. You see it and you're like, these things happen. They happen less and less when you act like that, though, when you do that, when you fall into this kind of way of being with yourself, But yeah, you should be radically honest with yourself. It's always, the truth is like this. You always want to, do you know what I mean?
So your emotional responses change as well, then?
Yeah, everything changes eventually. There's a few, things that cling on, and they need a bit more time for the teaching and the wisdom to, I used to get in very deep states just on my own, you see. Be in the woods on my own, and I'd be like, ooh. And then I'd go back into normal life and have a normal conversation or anything, and that would go, and I would come back into like Cornelius world. And even when I was teaching, I was still Cornelius teaching, and then all of a sudden those deeper states started to arise here, in this place. Now they arise when I'm driving or when I'm walking or talking, or sometimes even in the kitchen when they're cooking up their craziness. And it's all like onslaught on the senses. Everyone's got opinions about everything, and they're all reacting about everything. And my usual inclination is, where's the fire exit? but then I can just sit a bit more and look and laugh at it all and just be okay with it all. So, but that's because you get into this, it starts to bleed into your life slowly. Just let it, let it change, let it transform your relationships and the people in your lives and the situations that you find yourself in. But be patient, The more patient you are, the more non-judgment you have about yourself, the kinder you are with the process, with yourself and with others, and the easier it gets, and the faster it integrates. But it takes a while to integrate, You'll be a crazy kind of hypocrite for a while. You sit in meditation and read these books and you're like, yes, I get it, it's wonderful. And then your mum says something and you're like, And also it's very, very useful, I remember one of my teachers, Ramesh Balstakar, I said to him, I'm stewing on all this stuff and, I'm having these moments on the beach where I'm like, blah, 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 and, feeling free from all things. And then, I'm finding I'm doing this and I still have some emotional responses that are acting out. I have this going on and that going on. He said, oh, thank God. He said, absolutely thank God. He said, because we've been chatting for a while and we have these nice experiences and, you realise this and you realise that and it's all well and good. He said, but it's good that you have all these other idiosyncrasies to your personality. He said, you know why? He said, because you'd be fucking unbearable if you didn't. It'd be absolutely unbearable. It's true, It's true, I float around all day with perfect responses, like some kind of enlightened ninja. You go could have fun with that one, It's good for me for a book to get so, wow, about a bus, It's good, because there's humanness as well, and there's frailty, and there's vulnerability, and there's imperfections, and it's good. Good. So,
Compassion for humanity that way. You can keep your compassion.
Response. You can keep your compassion. You can understand your own vulnerability. You can be grounded as well. It's very important. Your imperfections ground you. They bring you back down to earth. There's a reason why we have this human form. There's a reason why this realization arises in a human form, in a frail, vulnerable thing that appears like it's born and it dies. It's grounding it. Because otherwise it would be too much. So, no mud, no lotus.
What do you think of visualizations for meditation?
They're great for relaxation. They're also great for generating manifesting qualities. There's some profound visualizations that the particular Buddhist schools of thought do. They're very, very good for healing. All of these things, they're fine. But spend some time still as well, and don't get too caught up. Some people are like, I'm trying to do these visualizations. Some of the Tibetan visualizations are quite interesting. Like to visualize this and that and this petal here and 3 balls here, and it's just if you're not a visual creature, this is perhaps not ideal for you. And there are some people that are like, oh yeah, I can do that, I love it, and there are other people that they can't come to imagine breathing in white light and breathing out black smoke. If there's a visualization, that's quite a good one, and they can't do that. So if you can't, there's more than one way to skin a cat. You have different pathways and different things, and maybe something, different works for you. It's about finding that approach, It's the same with this. One route in is just the pure hard wisdom. Another route in is back to complete devotional surrender. There's different ways in which you can do this,
I was going to ask about that. Is there also a way just sort of through feeling, like through emotion rather than mind?
Through love, but
love,
not emotion, yeah.
Through
love. If you don't have love,
kind of unconditional love and feeling that and really feeling that.
That's the noble intention, and also to existence. I've said here before, falling in love with existence and devoting yourself to it. You know, this is really important. I think that's the only thing but I didn't have any wisdom tantra or any kind of clear seeing or anything before that moment where I had that. You know, but before that it was all devotion. It was all my relationship with reality. You know, and you can call it reality or God or whatever you want to call it. It's fine. Goddess, blah 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 blah. You know, Mars bar. It doesn't care. Doesn't care what you call it. It's not interested or what you believe about it either. It's the process of devotion. If you look at the mechanics of religious faith and philosophies, it's the surrender of the sense of self that's important. Interestingly, you know, like the ayahuasca and the psilocybin drugs, one of the part of the mind where they affect most profoundly is where the sense of self is. You know? It's this process that's the dynamics of the path that really cause and they must be there. So it must have devotion and it must have wisdom to some degree or another. If it doesn't have those things, then it's not valid. But yeah, certainly there's different ways. But mine was very much devotion, and then that, and then I remember reading Triporasana or some book, and I was like, this just happened to me. And I was, yeah, that's that. It was like someone was writing something about what had happened to me. Even it says, you know, they turned their mind in and they had this tapas and their mind was burning. My mind was burning. And then this was realised and that was realised and this was, yeah, I know this. But that was from devotion. That came. At the end of the culmination of the yogas, whatever your path through in is they merge. You know? Through the jhana aspect as well, through the wisdom aspect, when you know more and more about how things arise and the logic and the emptiness and the thing and the thing and the thing and how it moves and how the mind is and how thoughts arise and how everything's awareness, and then when you see it, when you see that thing you've been analysing your arse out of for the last however long, when you see it, when you see it, you fall in love with it. You can only fall in love with it, you know, because what you're seeing is so awe-inspiring. It's so, you know, it's reality. You know. So there are many, many, many routes, and also beware when I'm just speaking of teachers. Beware of any of them that say it's my way or the highway. You know? You want to be careful of that. There are many, many ways, but they will all be functioning around wisdom, love, and selflessness. The wisdom element is centered around selflessness. The love element is centered around selflessness. If anything is feeding sense of self, a path too much. Maybe in the initial stages they do just to pacify you. They do this a lot in, you know, yoga philosophy and Buddhism or whatever. But it should move into selflessness. If it doesn't, then I would not buy it. You know.
I guess that the whole concept of selflessness is this idea that you have to give up your whole life and you have to give up everything and go sit in a cave somewhere, or become a monk or a nun or something like that. And I think a lot of people are scared of that because the idea of giving up your life to be selfless.
Yeah, no, you don't give up your life, you give over your life, you know. You don't have to go to the cave. You can go to the cave for a little bit if you want. Or, you know, when you've done your time, you can go and sit in the cave for a couple of years, should you wish. But really the real work is just to be where you are and love where you are, and there are plenty of opportunity to be a self-realised being wherever you are. If it was dependent on being in a cave, it wouldn't be so free, would it? It wouldn't be so majestic, you know, if it was dependent on you sitting in a cave away from all humans, you know. Like when I was sitting in the woods, I could have stayed there, you know, and thought to myself, well, this is it. But actually, that's not, you know, it's about throwing yourself into, especially householder yogis, which is what we are. We're not monks. That's one pathway. You can go and sit and just be a monk if you want. If that floats your boat, go for it. But it's certainly not something that you must do in order to see this. And you can carry on living your life and, you know, pursuing whatever idea of life you think that might be. It will change. Slowly to start off with, it may get quite radical in terms of the adjustments that you make, but when that time comes, you'll really want to make them. I mean, from my awakening, I didn't, you know, I was non-functional. Then I set, you know, this whole body Maya up thing, and, you know, wanted to do this and wanted to do that and wanted to do that, and I had ideas about, you know, growing this, and, you know, I'm going to go here and do this and do this and do that, and then now another shift's kicked in, and I'm like, I'm rapidly reevaluating what I'm putting my energy and effort into, because I can't be asked. I can't be asked to feed things that aren't worth feeding. I'm not going to sell my soul over to, you know, growing a business. I'm just not doing it. You know, I can't be bothered. There's other more important things at play. So I'll make sure I have food and a roof. If I don't, but I'll try to make sure that I do. And that's that. You know. But yeah, you can carry on doing whatever you're doing. It will change. People think as well. They see sort of like you know, like the renunciates. You know, they don't have sex or this or that, and they walk around with a bowl begging. There's a lot of people that kind of do that in order to get like that. The real genuine people, they don't do that to get like that. They just get to the point where they're like, no, I really don't care. You know, it's what they want to do. It's not like, I'm, you know, really, I don't want to do this, and not really, you know. You can still carry on doing all sorts of things and see this, and it'll work its magic on you, you know, regardless. Yeah, don't be scared. It's the ego frightened of change. You know how you want change, don't you? You want it. And then when you're on the precipice of it, well, I didn't quite mean that, you know. God, help me. Not like that. Dear Lord, come to me. No, I didn't mean like that. No. I don't want to change. I want it to change. I don't want to change, you know. See what the mind does, you know. You know, people sometimes listen to me talk and they're like, this is too radical. Like, you want shift. You want a paradigm shift. What do you think it's going to look like? You wake up one morning, you're like, I just feel great, it's fine. Felt really bad, it's just fine. It just doesn't really work like that. You know, everything, whoa, your internal scape changes and then the external scape changes. It's just, wow. And there's a part of that is fear. You know, fall into it. It's the excitement. That's part of the journey. Fear and excitement. And should I? Shouldn't I? And I don't know if I should. And maybe this is right. Maybe this is wrong. And that energy is part of it. You know, that energy. If you didn't have that, and you're like, okay, all right then. Yeah, I'll live the great. That's fine. I'll go home and just do it. It's a bit banal, isn't it? A bit like, it's not so amazing, is it? It's something you've got to be a bit like, oh. God, this sounds great, but could I do it? I don't know if I could. I don't know if it's me. You know, it's part of it, you know. It's kind of fun. So yeah, don't worry about all that. So we've had a good week here. We send you the schedule and, you know, what to expect from Body Maya, and do you want to detox, do you want to eat 3 meals a day, and just got yoga there. We don't give too much description of what yoga is, we just say it's yoga, and this is meditation, you know. But Body Maya means awakening illusion. It means awakening illusion. Awakening to a better way of being, of seeing, of living. There's a lot of magic that happens here that we don't try and put into copy. And over the course of this week, you've already thrown yourself into it, and however long you've been here, just throwing yourself into this and handing over your minds and your bodies and trusting us to, you know, enough just to listen. And go home, like I said, integration is something. You go home and in 3 days you'll do something, or you'll be, you'll feel like your state of mind will be a certain way after being at work all day, and you think, oh, was that lost? It's not at all. It's in now, it's in, you know. This is what experiences like this are. They're an experience, and then you go back to yoga slowly, just let it, you know. So don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be have all these expectations of yourself. That's what transformation is, you know. It's a process. It's a flowing. It's a, you know. But yeah, just spend some time working towards this, even just in a small way, you know. Even if it's just making sure you go for a walk every other day. Spend some time when you walk, just, I don't know, thinking about this. I don't know. Because it is profound. And, you know, I'm not blowing my own trumpet there. This process is not mine, you know. I'm a beggar that found something in the trash and I want to share it with everyone. And it's a profoundly powerful teaching. So I hope I've done it justice. I obviously haven't, because it's incommunicable. It's beyond what this kind of limited mind body could express. So forgive me for any misunderstandings or any miscommunications or anything like this. But it's been a real joy to explore these things with you. And it's been a real incredible week. Thank you all very much. Enjoy your final supper.
It's been a joy to see you.
Oh, thank you.
So meditation.